today's session. The name of the session is Rebalance Yourself. So I'm very lucky to be bestowed upon the great knowledge of Yoga Shastra from the early childhood by my guru, my father, Sri Gunwantrai Sangani. The knowledge of Yoga Shastra is so deep that every time you dive deep into its ocean, you come out with an invaluable pearl of wisdom. So this is a very inexhaustive knowledge. Let us start today's session with one question. I'll ask one question to all of you. How are you feeling? How are you feeling today? Are you feeling happy, energetic, sad, depressed, or uncertain? You're not sure how you are feeling. This feeling is your state of mind. In spite of all the external situations, all the external emotions that we are bombarded with, some people may feel calm and peaceful inside. You may say this is not possible, but yes, it is possible. There is a sea of calmness inside us, inside our mind, and we can tap into it. To tap this sea of calmness, you have to train yourself. There are people who feel calm and peaceful all the time. They may get irritated or angry or anxious, but on a very superficial level. Deep inside, they are calm and tranquil. So here, we have to rebalance ourselves. I'll ask one question. What is the thing that you see which is balanced in our surroundings? Have you ever noticed that the animals, the birds, the plants, the trees, the rivers, the mountains, whole of universe is in balance? It is in a balanced state. We are imbalanced. Why? Because our emotions, our ego, emotions like greed, anger, anxiety, fear, and our ego, it builds an invisible wall around us and doesn't let us balance with that universal energy. What is this universal energy? Scientifically, we cannot define universal energy, but we all know that there is something in the universe which gives energy to each and everything, living thing or non-living thing. So this universal energy, or we may call it as cosmic energy, is very important to synchronize ourselves with.
To be aware of ourselves, our anger, our emotions, our actions, our behavior. To develop this awareness, we have to train ourselves. For training, we need to focus on something which is a constant in our body. So breathing is that constant in our body. And so here we ask people to do conscious breathing. And now what is conscious breathing? This is a very simple technique where you lie down in Shavasana or you sit quietly and just close your eyes and observe your breathing. You have to keep on focusing on your inhalation and exhalation. Within few minutes, you'll observe that your body and mind has calmed down a lot. So this is conscious breathing. Now, in my program, today we have included pranayama. Why not breathing exercises? See, breathing is a very definitive scientific term of taking air in and giving it out. Pranayama is much more than that. Pranayam, pran plus yama. Pran means the energy, the air that you are taking in, and yam means discipline. So disciplining this inflow and outflow of air along with the energy is pranayama. Here, we are not only taking oxygen or air inside. We are always taking that vital energy, that universal energy inside our being along with the air. This energy enters our body and vitalizes each and every cell of our body. This gives us the vitality. It may be an ant, a plant, or a human being. Everybody needs this vital energy to survive. You cannot bring a dead body to life by pumping oxygen in it. It needs pran. It needs that vital energy, right? So for pranayama, we have to follow some basic rules. Today, the type of pranayams that I have included are very simple and very easy for everyone to follow. That it doesn't need anyone who has been doing pranayam. It may be somebody who is just going to start for the first time. It is very easy. So I'll start with the pranayam. First, I'll talk about pranayam. See, pranayam is this breathing technique which has very lot of importance in Yoga Shastra, right? So Yoga Shastra, in Yoga Shastra, pranayam is the most important part. In pranayam, your inhalation and exhalation both are very important. You have to focus on both of these. The first and foremost rule for pranayam is you have to keep your eyes closed when you are doing pranayam. When you are doing yoga or yogasanas, you have to keep your eyes open. So pranayam, you have to close your eyes. You have to sit in a comfortable position. The most comfortable position is Sukhasana. That is our typical cross-legged position, right? So pranayam, you have to close your eyes. You have to sit in a very quiet place in a comfortable position with your spine straight. When you start pranayam, you have to always practice Kaya Sthairyam for a few minutes before starting pranayam. What is Kaya Sthairyam? Kaya means body and Sthairyam means stillness. You have to still your body. Sit in your comfortable position, close your eyes and sit still. Do not start pranayam as soon as you sit down. Just sit and sit still. Let your mind relax, your breathing rate reduce, and then you start pranayam. All the pranayams have to be started with Nadi Shodhan pranayam. Commonly, it is known as Anulom Vilom. Before I start with the technique of Nadi Shodhan pranayam, I'll tell you the importance of Kaya Sthairyam and calmness of your mind. If our mind is not calm, if our thoughts are not calmed down, the ability to do pranayam is less. Your spine should be straight so that your lungs can expand properly. So we start with this pranayams, and all of you know that breathing as such is only a physiological process which can be controlled voluntarily as well as involuntarily. So training the breathing pattern and the breathing technique is very important. So the three pranayams, there are many kinds of pranayams. There are n number of pranayams. Each pranayam has many variations. Each variation has a stage. So we are going to start the basic pranayam. The common categorization of pranayam, the most general categorization is tranquilizing pranayam and vitalizing pranayam. Now, what is vitalizing pranayam? Vitalizing pranayam includes expulsion of air or inhalation of air in a very forceful way. For example, Bhastrika pranayam or Kapalbhati pranayam. But tranquilizing pranayam are those pranayam which actually balances your sympathetic as well as parasympathetic nervous system. It calms down your mind and it instantly gives you the feeling of well-being, mentally, physically, as well as emotionally. So I have included only few of the tranquilizing pranayam in today's program. And these are the basic pranayams. Many of us must be doing pranayam and they must be thinking that this is the basic, but this is for the starters who have never done pranayam. And so let us start with Nadi Shodhan pranayam. Nadi Shodhan means Nadi means nostril and Shodhan means cleansing. So this is also called as alternate nostril breathing. There are many types of Nadi Shodhan pranayam. The one that I am teaching today is the most basic technique. Here you have to inhale through one nostril and exhale through the other. Again, you have to inhale through that nostril and exhale through the first nostril. In this pranayama, the inhalation and exhalation duration has to be same. The duration, this the duration for counts, how many counts you are using for inhalation should be same for exhalation. So it has to be always started with the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril first. Whoever is already doing pranayam or yogasanas, they should always start with Nadi Shodhan pranayam and then they can carry on with the other pranayams. So in Nadi Shodhan pranayam, you need to close your nostrils. There are two ways of closing your nostrils. One is the Nasigagra Mudra, where you rest these two fingers between your eyebrows. You close your nostril, right nostril with the thumb and your left nostril with the ring finger. But this is not very easy for everyone to follow. The easiest way is to fold the middle two fingers of your hand. Now you can use the thumb to close your right nostril and the ring finger for the left nostril. This becomes very easy, right? And if you are not comfortable with this position of the hand, you can support your hand with the left hand. Okay. So here I will inhale through the left nostril, exhale through the right nostril, inhale through the right nostril and exhale through the left nostril. This will be one round of Nadi Shodhan pranayama. So let us start. All of us, please sit down on the floor. It will be more comfortable, and we can start. So we'll start with Nadi Shodhan pranayama. So this was one round. You have to do such 5 to 10 rounds of Nadi Shodhan pranayama. In Nadi Shodhan pranayama, you will instantly feel calmness of mind, clarity of thoughts. You have to start with 3 counts of inhalation and 3 counts of exhalation. So how do you count when you are inhaling? There are 2 options. Either you chant Om, Om, Om while inhaling and exhaling. So you have equal counts on both the sides, or you can count with your fingers this way, right? So I'll show you how to do it. So this is the way you have to do it. So we have inhaled for 3 counts and exhaled for 3 counts. Again, inhaled for 3 counts and exhaled for 3 counts. This is the starting. Once you get used to the synchronization of the closing and opening of the nostrils in a week or so, you can increase the counts. You can inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 4 counts. Do not increase the ratio. Ratio has to be 1:1. I have not taught any kind of retention or kumbhak over here because this is the very basic pranayama and very easy to follow. There are no chances of making mistakes in this. So this was Nadi Shodhan pranayama. The second pranayama is also one of the tranquilizing pranayama that I am going to teach is Shitali pranayama. Shitali pranayam has 3 types. Shitali pranayam, Shitkari pranayam and Paki pranayam. In Shitali pranayam, we have to inhale through our mouth and exhale through our nose. So while inhaling, we have to bring out our tongue, roll it like a straw, and you have to suck the air inside. Then close your lips and inhale, exhale through your nose. This is the way we do Shitali pranayama. So I'll show you the technique. It is very easy. Sit in the comfortable position, your hands on your knees with Jnana Mudra, and we'll start the Shitali pranayama. So if you are trying this, you'll see that when you are inhaling, when you are sucking the air in, there should be a sound of sucking. Like while in childhood we used to suck on that ice cream or ice cream candies, you have to make that sound. You have to make that sucking sound of the air. And then you have to close your lips and exhale through your nose. This is one round. In this way, you can do 5 to 10 rounds of Shitali Pranayam daily. If you have chronic constipation or sinus problem, you shouldn't do this. Otherwise, it is very helpful. It also helps to reduce your thirst and hunger also. So, Shitali Pranayam is very easy to follow and very easy to do. And now we'll come to the third type of pranayam, that is Bhramari Pranayam. I think everybody must be knowing about Bhramari Pranayam. Everybody must have heard about it. And nowadays there is a video going on WhatsApp which says it produces nitrous oxide in our nasal passage, which kills the COVID-19 virus and all. We do not know the authenticity of all this, but Bhramari Pranayam has many benefits. It has benefits for everyone, adults, children, pregnant women, everyone. And it gives instant results. In Bhramari Pranayam, or it is also called as humming bee pranayam, humming bee breathing technique. Here we have to inhale through our nose and exhale through our nose, but while exhaling, you have to make the sound of a humming bee. Humming bee कैसा आवाज करता है? This kind of sound you have to produce. But the main part is you have to close your ears. To close your ears, we have two techniques. One is you can close your ears with your index fingers. You can close your ears like this. Or you can close your ears with your thumbs. Rest both the fingers lightly on your eyes, the topmost finger on your forehead and the lower finger on your cheeks. You inhale, and while exhaling, you have to make that humming bee sound. While you are making this humming bee sound, you have to listen to the vibrations. You have to listen to the resonance of the sound that you are producing in your head. So we will start it. You are inhaling, and while exhaling, you have to do humming bee sound. Bhramari Pranayam. The sound that actually resonates in your head calms down your mind. Bhramari Pranayam should not be done by people who have ear infections, but otherwise it can be done anytime, especially before going to bed. It helps in insomnia, but never do it in a sleeping position. It is very effective for children also, because it increases their concentration and memory. Also, in all of us who are always stressed out by working, so after coming back from work, we can do this pranayam to reduce our stress, our anxiety, and feel calm and peaceful. The next technique that I have included is Om chanting. Why Om chanting is so necessary? Because everybody knows that Om is the primordial sound. It is that dhvani, it is that sound, universal sound. When you chant Om, the sound of Om reverberates in your body and it actually synchronizes with the universal sound. It helps you to make your mind calm and quiet and energetic as well. So Om, in Om chanting, there are many types. I will be teaching only two techniques. Very simple techniques. Om, as such, if you pronounce the word Om, it is of no benefit to you at all. Until and unless Om is synchronized with your breathing, then only it will give you the maximum benefits. So Om is always chanted while you are exhaling, not while inhaling. So you have to inhale first, and while exhalation, you have to produce the sound of Om, right? So Om, as such, has 3 letters, A-U-M. Om. This is the sound of Om. But we will actually bifurcate into 2, O and M. So O and M, both should be of equal duration when you are chanting it. So Om, O and M. O should not be longer than M, and M should not be longer than O. This is the way you have to do it. So first technique, you have to inhale fully, wait, pause for a moment, and exhale, chanting the Om sound with force. This type of Om chanting can be done only 3 to 5 times. It should not be done by pregnant ladies. So I will show you this technique of Om chanting. I'll be inhaling, and while exhaling, after pausing for a moment, I'll exhale with the Om sound. And you have to take that exhalation as long as you can. Continue that Om and feel that vibrations in your body, right? So this is the way we do it. I'll inhale and chant Om while exhaling. The duration of exhalation should be equal for both the, you have to divide the duration of exhalation for O and M. The intensity will keep on going down while you are actually making the sound of M, but it should be longer. The other type of Om chanting is, while exhalation, you have to make the sound of Om repeatedly, completely during your one exhalation. And to keep that frequency equal, you have to give a count with your fingers. So it is equal in frequency. Only the intensity will keep on decreasing. So this is the second type of Om chanting, and very easy. So we inhale and then we make the sound of Om while exhaling in repeated fashion. So here we start. Om. So this was the way you have to exhale with the Om chanting. You'll notice that when you start for the first time, you are not used to this technique, your Om will abruptly stop. Your exhalation will stop. So you have to practice to make your exhalation as long as possible and as many Om as you can sound, right? So this was Om chanting, a very effective way, and you have to practice it 5 to 10 times, this type of Om chanting, and the earlier one was 3 to 5 times. This second type of Om chanting can be done by pregnant women also, with a lower pitch, slowly and steady. Last but not the least that I have included in today's program is very important. I would like everybody to listen to it carefully and try it from tomorrow itself. It is a type of meditation which is very short and very effective. There are many types of meditations. Many of you must be doing meditation. And they say all of us know about meditation, but very few actually understand what meditation is. And fewer than them are those who experience meditation. So to experience meditation, you have to be very consistent. You may be doing meditation for 5 to 10 minutes, but it has to be consistent for months together. So in this type of meditation that I am going to teach you today, it is called as Antar-Maun technique. Antar-Maun. What is Antar-Maun? Antar means inside and Maun means silence. There is a lake of silence inside us. For this silence to be perceived, you have to do Dhvani Shravan. Dhvani means sound and Shravan means hearing. You have to listen to the external sounds in this type of Antar-Maun technique. The technique is very simple. It may sound very complicated to you, but we'll start directly with the technique. So you sit down in the comfortable position, your spine should be straight, shoulders should be straight, and then close your eyes and start listening to all the sounds that you can hear all around you. It can be the fan, it can be the utensils in the kitchen, children playing outside, birds chirping, anything. Just focus on the sounds that you can hear. Keep on focusing on the sounds. Slowly you realize that the number of sounds that are audible to you keep on increasing. You will hear so many sounds from far away places also. People talking to each other, an auto rickshaw passing through the road, a car is moving. You will start listening to so many sounds and you just keep on focusing on these sounds. When you focus on these sounds, your thought process slows down. The space between two thoughts increases. Sometimes thoughts may appear in your mind, but you again refocus on the sounds itself. Try to find new types of sounds that you can. Continuously do this. Continuously focus on all the external sounds. And in few minutes, you will feel that your body is getting better. You will feel that you are completely relaxed. This is that early meditative state. And just continue it as much as you can. Once you are done with it, you have to rub your palms together, place it on your face and eyes, and experience the darkness inside. Completely take in that darkness and slowly open your eyes. This is Antar-Maun technique of meditation. A very effective way of meditation. And once you practice this, I'm sure you can practice it anytime, anywhere. You can practice it in your OPD, between patients, when you're waiting for the second patient in the OT to come, or when you are actually facing a complication during surgery, or you are treating a complicated patient. You can feel this calm and peaceful mind by just focusing few seconds of your mind on the sounds outside. This will give you relaxed mind and instant clarity of thoughts. You'll come out with better ideas to face the complications and you'll have a better outcome also. You can also use it while you are stuck in a traffic jam. You listen to the sounds of honking of the cars and bikes and everybody, but you'll feel peaceful inside in spite of all those sounds. So this is the importance of meditation. We have that peaceful lake inside, tranquil lake inside. We have to just find it and we have to tap. To tap it, we have to focus on it. We have to be aware of it. So these are the 5 techniques that I taught today to relax ourselves in these trying times, which are very stressful. and full of anxiety. These were 3 pranayam, the tranquilizing pranayams, Nadi Shodhan pranayam, the Shitali pranayam, the Brahmari pranayam, 2 types of Om chanting, and the last was meditation, Antarmon technique, which is Dhvani Shravan. So I end my session over here. Hope everybody understood it. And back to the organizers, please.